Dear respected Thai, dear monastic brothers and sisters, dear members of the Order of Interbeing, dear friends, dear Sangha. Today is the 5th of July in the year 2015, and we are in the Assembly of Stars Meditation Hall in the Lower Hamlet for the first day of our practicing together during this summer retreat. We have a lot in common, all of us. We are perhaps 700 people, maybe more, coming from perhaps 40 countries, and we have something in common. This is very rare. It's precious. We don't often find this in our daily life, to be with people with whom we have so much in common. What we have in common is our interest in mindfulness. You have come here, our friends, to perhaps learn more about mindfulness, to experience it yourself, to practice it, to be with others who are practicing it. And this is a treasure, it's a real gift to be able to practice with the community and with the Sangha. We can make this week and this whole summer retreat a celebration of our togetherness. Perhaps we are still strangers to one another. The arrival day was 2 days ago, and we may not know everyone yet, but we've learned that after several days of practicing, certainly by the end of the week, things change. A closeness, togetherness develops. With this common interest, this affinity that we all have, our desire and our aspiration to live more mindfully, the practice of mindfulness with others is much, much easier. Maybe you've discovered this if you've been practicing at home alone. Practicing with others makes the whole experience of mindfulness practice much happier. We're supported by the collective energy of everyone. We offer our mindfulness energy, and we also receive the mindfulness energy from others. So this week and this summer retreat can also be a festival of happiness. Why not? You know, the Buddha taught there's a very intimate connection between suffering and happiness. And his first teachings after his enlightenment was to help us recognize the presence of suffering. But equally as important, he announced that suffering can have an end and happiness is possible. So we can make this a festival of happiness as we connect with our suffering, if we are able to recognize our suffering and then apply some of the basic practices to be able to calm the suffering in our mind or in our body with the practices of mindfulness. To guide us along the path of happiness, the Buddha suggested that we learn to live in the present moment. And that we could train our mind to simply be in the here and now, instead of traveling to the past where we may have experienced suffering or happiness. When we travel to the past, sometimes we stay there. We could be stuck in our memories of the past. And the Buddha also suggested that we not let our mind jump ahead to the future. Why is that? Because if we're living in the future, we tend to be full of expectations, wishes, hopes, and they may or may not be realized. The future may be the place where we envision so many projects that we want this or that, and the truth is we're not free. So the Buddha suggested our true freedom could be experienced in the present moment, in the here and the now. He said it's possible to live happily in the here and now. Many times he used the phrase Turista Dharma Sukha Vihara, dwelling happily in the present moment. So the Buddha offered practices that will help us come back to the present moment. And we'll explore 4 of these this morning, and some other practices that Thai has taught us over the years. We know that amongst all of us, there are people who have come for the first time and maybe are just putting your toe in the water of mindfulness. You're testing the water. You're curious. And there are others who have been practicing for decades already, many years. So for those who are just beginning the practice, then maybe what is shared today will be new and something you can try. And for others who've been practicing a long time, maybe just consider it a little bit of a review. But thank you for your patience in hearing the same teachings again. Very often people ask, what actually is mindfulness? What do we mean when we say, please live your life with mindfulness? Please be mindful. What do we mean by that? We could describe mindfulness or even try to define it. But truthfully, the best thing is for each of us to experience it ourselves with our own practice. But I'll try to give some answers to satisfy the questioning mind. So, we could say mindfulness is an energy, a mental energy. And we all have this capacity, this seed of mindfulness in the depths of our consciousness. But very often, unless we have started a spiritual path, or unless our schools are beginning to teach mindfulness, we don't always have the opportunity to develop it until a little bit later in life. So it's a mental energy. Thai has said that mindfulness is like the sun. It penetrates every aspect of our awareness, of our actions, of our thinking. The way the sun penetrates the flowers and helps the flowers to bloom. The way the sun penetrates the vegetables and helps them to grow and to be full of light. The way the sun penetrates the trees. Take, for example, an orange tree. Have you seen a beautiful orange cut in half? And then you see the color of the orange juice that hasn't become juice yet, but it's in the orange. And the sun has penetrated the tree to enable the tree to produce this miraculous orange. And it's amazing. The bark of the tree is quite solid and stiff, but we know the tree has roots that go deep into the earth where there is water. And the tree has been able to produce a beautiful orange. So mindfulness is like the energy of the sun. It penetrates our life, our consciousness, and it can produce a beautiful transformation. We could say mindfulness is when the mind is full of awareness. It's our capacity to be fully present. And with our daily practice that we have here every day during the retreat, this capacity will be developed. All we have to do is flow along with the Sangha. And do what the others are doing. Enjoy your walking, enjoy your breathing. We know that mindfulness always has an object. So we say, I am mindful of my breathing. We are mindful of the taste of the food. We are mindful of the fragrance of the roses. We are mindful of the fresh morning air. So our six senses help us become more aware, more mindful. For us at Plum Village, Thai has asked and shared that mindfulness for us is a way of living and not necessarily just tools to improve our capacity to work better, work harder, be more efficient. So for us, it encompasses our whole life, and it's all of our life. And it's not something separate, it's not a technique. It encompasses a sense of ethics, of beauty, of respect, of reverence. And Thai has said that with this attitude and understanding of mindfulness as a way of living, life becomes much easier and more enjoyable. We're able to live more deeply and to touch the wonders of life in us and around us with this awareness. But it also enables us to touch the ever-changing presence of suffering in us and around us, in the world and in Mother Earth right now. So mindfulness doesn't take sides, it's universal. It's always there for whatever needs to be seen, recognized, appreciated, or embraced. To help us in the practice of mindfulness, the Buddha proposed 16 breathing exercises. And this morning we'll look at the first 4 and practice them together. These exercises are found in the sutra called the Anapanasati Sutra, or the Sutra on the Full Awareness of Breathing. So the first exercise, which many of you know, is that we become aware of our in-breath and our out-breath. We recognize and identify that we are breathing in and breathing out. Would you like to do that now? Shall we all do it together? When we breathe, we simply breathe naturally. We don't have to do anything special. It's our normal breath. And here in Plum Village, whenever we hear the sound of a bell, we always come back to ourselves and enjoy mindfulness of breathing. So maybe we can hear one sound of the bell, and we'll simply have the opportunity to bring our mind to our body and be aware of our body breathing. Dear friends, did you experience your in-breath and out-breath? Were you aware, breathing in and breathing out? When would we want to do this in daily life? When would we want to do this here at the retreat? We may want to apply a simple breathing in and out, for example, when we're waiting in line. I think all of us will have this experience of waiting in line somewhere. So it's more or less a neutral situation. We're simply waiting and the line is moving. But while waiting, we can simply enjoy breathing in and breathing out. Because mindfulness as a seed needs constant watering, like any seed. Like a corn seed. If we don't water the corn seed, it won't become a corn plant. So if we want to develop our mindfulness, we really want to water this mindfulness seed continuously, as much as we can, without making ourselves too tired that we give up and say, no thank you. So waiting in line, we can simply enjoy breathing out, in and out. When we go to the other hamlets to visit them for the day of mindfulness, we have a sitting meditation on the bus, so we can simply enjoy breathing in and breathing out on the bus. When you come to New Hamlet tomorrow, you can simply remember the first breathing exercise. Breathing in, breathing out. Another opportunity to enjoy simply breathing in and breathing out is when we're walking. We can be aware of our feet touching the earth, the sensation of our feet, or if we wish, we can simply be aware of our breathing in and breathing out as we walk. So these are the times and the situations when we can apply simple breathing in, breathing out, aware of my in-breath, aware of my out-breath. There's the second breathing, mindful exercise of mindful breathing, and that is we give a little more of our concentration and attention to the in-breath and the out-breath. And we say, breathing in, I follow the length of my in-breath with my mindfulness. I stay connected to my in-breath, and my mind doesn't wander off somewhere. The mind likes to wander, likes to travel a lot. It can go to India, it can go to Vietnam, South America, Canada. No ticket is necessary. It goes. For this breathing exercise, it says we follow our in-breath with our mind. Our mind is sort of sitting on the in-breath and traveling the whole length of the in-breath, the whole length of the out-breath. And this is a way Thai has described the second breathing exercise, following the in-breath, following the out-breath. Imagine my finger is my mind, and now my mind is going to follow the length of my in-breath and the out-breath. Once more. In, out. When my finger moves to the right, it's the in-breath. When my finger moves to the left, it's the out-breath. The mind doesn't leave its place with the in-breath and the out-breath. The mind stays with the body. So bringing the mind back to the body connects us and gives us more peace and stability, because our thinking can create suffering depending on what we're thinking about. But if we let our mind rest and not think, then the chances of suffering are diminished. Of course, we can think of happy things and then we will be happy. But if we understand our mind and our habit, if we think about suffering in the past, then it's better to let the mind have a vacation. And this is a vacation for the mind, following the breath all the way through, from the beginning to the end. So I'd like to write this on the board, and then we'll continue with the third and fourth breathing exercise. We can summarize the first exercise with the words in, out. The second breathing exercise is following the breath. If we follow our breath and breathe in a relaxed way for several minutes, maybe 5 minutes, we'll notice that our breath will change. It will change naturally. Our breath will become deeper and slower. So we can summarize following the breath that we do for a few minutes. The breath changes and becomes deeper and slower. So we'll write now a summary: in, out, deep, slow. The Buddha suggested that we become aware of our body. We start with the breathing, but in fact breathing is part of our body. So he said, let's become aware of our whole body. Breathing in, I'm aware of my whole body. So the northernmost part of our body is the head, north. The southernmost part of our body is toes, feet, toes. We can consider our body as an island even. The southernmost tip of our island is the toes. Do we pay much attention to our toes? Do we pay much attention to our feet? If you go to buy a new pair of shoes, I think you do. But how often do we do that? There's a beautiful short line that Thai wrote. Peace and joy in each toe is my own peace and joy. So our feet carry the weight of our body when we're walking, or when we're running, when we're doing anything that involves movement. Isn't that true? Our feet carry it. What does our head do? It carries the burden of our worries, the weight of our suffering. It doesn't carry the weight of our walking. Our feet do. So it's very wonderful for us to be aware of our feet and take good care of our feet. One of the things I love to do, which I have told no one, and all of you will be the first in the world to know, that when doing walking meditation, of course I'm aware of my breathing, aware of my feet touching the earth, but I'm also aware of the beautiful sports shoes that are being made now. They are incredible in their design, their color, and in the sole. When the person lifts up their foot, you see the tread. Even the tread has colors now. So we have some amazing artists designing sports shoes. Of course, there are the brand names, Quechua, Salomon, and then the others, Nike, Adidas, New Balance. But even shoes you buy at Leclerc, they're also beautiful. So this is something that if you like, you can develop an appreciation for the clothing we put on our feet, the shoes. Awareness of our feet, making sure your feet are comfortable. So being aware of our whole body and all parts of our body. And we do a body scan. This is the lying down meditation, relaxation, total relaxation that we do every week in this retreat. Aware of body and then releasing the tension in our body, letting go of the tension. Why is this important? Because if we don't release the tension, if we're not able to relax, sometimes we become ill. The body can only take so much pressure, can only take so much tension. So aware of our body, relaxing our body. And we're doing this during sitting meditation. So. When we're able to release the tension in our body, we're also releasing the tension in our mind, because they are connected. When our mind is relaxed, when we feel calm and peaceful, our body will also benefit from a calm, relaxed mind. If we relax our body, the mind will settle down as well. So there's the interbeing of body and mind. They are not two separate things, though we know the mind likes to travel, but when we breathe mindfully and follow our breath, the mind comes back to the body. So when we release the tension in our body, we feel more calm and at ease. When we are relaxed, we feel happy, don't we? We feel things are going well. And we enjoy this sensation, this pleasant sensation. We can smile. We smile to life. We smile to people around us. We smile in the present moment. So we'll complete this, the gatha that Thai has written. Calm, ease, smile, release. And when we practice these breathing exercises, we know we are living in the present moment. This is the path to the present moment, the gateway to the present moment. And the present moment we can experience as a wonderful moment. Maybe we haven't had many moments of relaxation, of calmness and ease, because we didn't know how to breathe or what to do. Present moment is a wonderful moment now. Let us enjoy another sound of the bell so we can continue to water our seed of mindful breathing. We sit in a relaxed way and just breathe in and out normally. This represents mindful breathing, breathing in and breathing out, just aware of our breathing. This represents our concentrating on following our breath, so that we see that concentration already has our energy of mindfulness. We're focusing a little bit more with our mindfulness energy, concentrating on one aspect. We can concentrate on the flower. Say, what is the flower made of? We know the flower is made of the sunshine. The beautiful orchid has water from the clouds and the rain, the earth, the seed, the air. So when we look deeply into a flower or into any object, it could be the orange, it could be into your brother or your sister or your ancestors or your parents. When we look deeply into anything, we know we are concentrating to understand it. And when we understand it, then we have more love, more compassion, more forgiveness. The third part of our practice is then the insight. That's the understanding and love. In the upper Hamlet, we will see that in the stained glass windows, there is the word smriti, samadhi, and prajna. Those are the Sanskrit words for mindfulness, concentration, and insight. These are called the 3 trainings for us. And with these 3 trainings of mindfulness, concentration, and insight, we can live truly in the present moment. So the practice is a gentle development of our capacity. Thai said one day that to live in the land of the present moment, to live in the country of the present moment, requires a passport. You have to have a passport to get into this country of the present moment. And what is the passport? Thai said, mindful breathing and mindful walking. We may want to add that if you really enjoy living in the country of the present moment with your passport of mindful breathing and mindful walking, if you really enjoy living there and want to stay there, you'll need a visa, won't you? A resident card. What's your resident card? There are 5 mindfulness trainings. And we'll learn more about them in a few days in each of our hamlets. And they will give us the protection and the wisdom to know how to live skillfully in the land of the present moment, to not create suffering, but to be able to create love and understanding and compassion for ourselves and our family, people whom we work with, and this planet Earth. So the 5 mindfulness trainings are a global ethic for living with wisdom, how we can help our planet Earth right now. We all want to, because Mother Earth has loved and supported us, all species, for billions of years, and now it's our turn to begin to help Mother Earth. And we're not separate. We're really one. When we harm Mother Earth, when we pollute Mother Earth, our lungs become polluted as well. When the waters are not clean, Mother Earth, and the oceans are polluted, the water we drink is also not clean. So there's a very deep connection. Other practices that will help us develop our mindfulness and concentration are the practice of using gathas. I don't know if you know what a gatha is. It's a small 4-line poem, and they have been used for over 400 years in temples in Asia and Vietnam to help us become aware of what we're actually doing. And when we have this awareness of what our hands are doing, what our arms are doing, what our body is doing, then we're more concentrated. And these collection of very beautiful mindfulness poems are in the book called Present Moment, Wonderful Moment. There's one I remember, and it's so beautiful. As I calmly sweep this floor of enlightenment, a tree of understanding springs up from the earth. And that's for cleaning the meditation hall. Respectful of countless Buddhas, I calmly light this candle, brightening the face of the earth. This one candle brightens the earth. This cup of tea in my 2 hands, mindfulness is there. My mind and body dwell in the very here and now. So these poems are very good friends to us. When you use them, you can put them in your house or even in your car. Anywhere where you want, at work. You can introduce the poems to your children. And children love to draw on the paper where you've written the poem. And they are very receptive to using these little poems of practice. Brushing my teeth and rinsing my mouth, I vow to live purely, I vow to speak purely and lovingly. When my heart is fragrant with right speech, a flower blooms in the garden of my heart. They are beautiful. You know, almost all of the religious traditions have had some form of praise and beautiful words. I can think of the Upanishads, the Psalms of the Old Testament, and we have now these beautiful mindfulness poems, the gathas. The second basic practice of Plum Village is the walking meditation. And I think we all are aware of walking, but there's some ways we can help our mind stay with our body when walking. So we can choose a particular distance to really be with every footstep. It could be from your room to the meditation hall, or your room to the oak tree. The length of the distance is not so important, but that you choose the distance. And for that distance, you're 100% there with every step. And if you begin to think or talk, then what we do is we stop and we begin again. So we're training ourselves with this very, very simple practice. With walking, we really arrive. There's nowhere to go, but we arrive with every step. I have arrived, I have arrived, I have arrived, I am home. I am home. I am home. You can use the poem, I have arrived, I am home, in the here and the now if you wish. Or you may be aware of how many steps you make while you breathe in. For example, how many steps will fill the length of your in-breath. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 or 4. It depends on you. There's no right answer. Breathing in, and then breathing out, 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 out. In, out, out. To help us with our mindfulness and concentration practice while walking, we agree that we're not going to speak or think. Just be with your footsteps. Feel your feet touch Mother Earth. That's enough. Just be with Mother Earth. Allow your feet to gently walk peacefully on Mother Earth. So we've talked about the 4 breathing exercises the Buddha offered to help us become aware of our breathing, aware of our body, enabling us to relax our body, to calm our mind. We also have the very short gatha that we can use while doing sitting meditation. In, out, deep, slow. We've reviewed a little bit the way of enjoying each footstep with mindfulness as we walk. And now we want to ask, what do we do if we suffer? What shall we do? Well, our energy of mindfulness will tell us something isn't right. Maybe somebody's angry at us, or we feel irritated, or we feel upset or sad. So the first thing we need to do is just stop for a moment. This is the samatha, the stopping, coming back to ourselves. We'll do some breathing, getting in touch with our body, relaxing our body, so that when our body and mind are calm, then we'll be able to look deeply, to have the insight. Why? Why is this happening now? What are the contributing causes for this suffering, this mental formation? Walking meditation, I have found, is probably for me at least, the easiest and the best way to have this insight, because it's not so much a matter of figuring out why I'm suffering, but allowing the conditions to be there for the insight, the understanding to arise. So for understanding to arise, we want to prepare the land, prepare the earth of our mind to allow understanding to arise. Turning on the television, going to the movies, going shopping, going to the refrigerator, having a cup of coffee doesn't usually permit understanding to arise, because these pull the mind out of the body. We're seeking external comforts or an external friend for a moment while we're suffering. So the best thing to do in order to look deeply, which is vipassana, is to just stop and remember the 4 breathing exercises. We'll learn more there about the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th that really talk specifically about feelings and emotions and calming our mind. But for now, the first day, I think it's enough that we simply remember 4 and we apply these 4. We can think about applying them today, enjoying each footstep that we make, enjoying our breathing when we stand in line, or in line at the bookshop even. And then understanding that mindfulness energy is there to help us, to protect us, to help us transform whatever suffering is there. It helps us recognize, embrace our suffering, accept our suffering, and then transform it when we're able to understand the roots, the causes of our suffering. And this will happen, but it's a little bit like the natural blooming of a flower. We cannot force a flower to bloom. It's like the natural ripening of the plum or the orange. It happens naturally. It needs the warmth of the sun. The vegetables need the warmth of the sun. So our suffering needs the warmth of our mindfulness energy, our kindness and compassion and understanding of ourselves and others. And because we are 800 people mindfulness, what better place to practice all of this? If suffering arises, well, we understand. So if suffering is there, we'll stop and we can smile, release, come back to the present moment. And in the Dharma sharing, your next Dharma sharing, you may want to share some situations where these very simple practices could be applied. You can think about your life at home with the family, with your children, at work even. And we'll continue again tomorrow with another teaching on the basic practices. So we thank you all for coming, and we wish you a very happy celebration of happiness and togetherness during our summer retreat, whether it's for 1 week or more than 1 week. And we'll see you at walking meditation. Thank you very much.